Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again to another one here on the Coach's Desk. We appreciate you being here. So let's jump right into what we want to talk about. And we'll be talking about Kishane Thompson. Yes, Kishane Thompson. He'll be competing this weekend. And it's just amazing to hear some of the comments from the fan base who declares that they are a true supporter, you know, and they they have even said and made comments that in front of their trust. But whenever we do a video on Kishane talking about him going to be running, several persons indicate that they have to see him line up first. I guess they are now calling him the pullout master, the pullout man, and all of these things. But that is kind of set away because Frano not putting out an athlete that he believes is not 100% healthy, or probably I would not say 100%, but at least in the realms where they can compete and do well. Seeing, and I think that's a situation with Kishane. He has to preserve Kishane so that he can have longevity. And if he doesn't have longevity, then the said people are going to say this and they are going to say that. So it's a situation of damn if you do, damn if you don't. And if you said that in front of your trust, you have to just trust the process. And people tend to want to compare with what other athletes are doing. And you don't know where athletes are in their program, what they are doing, if they are doing a matter of fact, some might do different workout inevitably. So you can't really compare athletes. Oh, this person's running fast this season already, and other people not running fast. What is happening? What is happening? But there's always a method to the madness of some of these top coaches. So I wouldn't want to go as far as talking about after see Kishane line up on the line. When you look at even Christian Coleman, do you see Christian Coleman with that zest? Do you see Let's see Tiboho with that fire that you saw him with last season? No, because people are different places in their program. I mean, Akani Simbini would have gone to the world indoor championship, so he's kind of a little bit, fluid, if you ask me. And they're just trying to do as much as possible. Then probably reload him so that they can unload again. Everybody does their thing differently, because what I can tell you is not very easy for athletes to hold their peak for a long period of time. So you don't want to peak athletes too early, or show signs of what you're expecting too early. I remember, these coaches would have had their athletes in practice or in training, and they definitely would be clocking and doing times that would have been uh times that would have been, I mean, having them in a setting where they know where their athletes are. It's a numbers game from training. Numbers game. Coaches know based off the numbers. And remember, it's not hand time for several of the top athletes anymore. It's not about hand time. It's about um using the electronic timing and the whole system that they have set up. So I mean, everybody has their own opinion. Everybody coach differently, but it's a game that we have to just watch and see. Seeing, um, Jeremiah Azu, the Brit, seemed to be one that a lot of persons have been talking about. He will be going up against Kishane Thompson, yeah, Christian Coleman, Esime Emmanuel Esime, Ferdinand Omeniala, Akani Simbini, which is the world leader with a 9.90. He ran 9:99 last week in Jaman. So certainly he is the hot athlete right now. And you see, sometimes going into a championship, the hot athlete is always the one that is most talked about, and a lot of pressure is placed on the shoulder of that athlete, right? And you can remember when Justin and Usain used to compete. Justin Gatlin went in with fastest time, burning up the circuit, and boom, Usain does come. I mean, you're gonna say Usain is different, but when you look at Kishane Thompson, he doesn't need a lot to be ready. He doesn't need a lot of races to get ready because we saw what transpired last season. You get what I'm saying? Months he didn't train. In our eyes, he didn't run either. And boom, he just come to the national trials and just blaze up the trail. I mean, there and then people start to take him seriously. Yeah. So your early season doesn't necessarily have to be good for, you know, and this is already proven by what athletes like Kishane would have done before. So I am not one to be worried too much about his early season. I think he has what it takes though, because of him not running and then he shows up and then, run a fast time. So I think he has what it takes to even take down a world leader in Akane Simbini, and that would put him in the realms of probably a 9-8 and so forth. So that is there. Um, if he beats the world lead, if he you don't know the conditions. I mean, those other guys would have been in China for a while. He traveled, so that could have an effect on him. So a lot of variables we have to look into. I do believe that he has the propensity. He has the speed. Even though the last run I saw him in, he wasn't that nippy on that relay, right? But with what he would have done since that meet, of course, things could have changed. A lot could have changed. He's working well in practice. Remember, I say, I gotta work, in order to get paid, I have to go work. So the think is she not going to work? Yeah, man, him a go work, man. So I think he's gonna go out there and silence the critics and take this one, right? Ron Watson is there as well. Z is there, but I do believe in Kishane's talent. Um, and for me, if he does not come out on top of this field, I still would not be worried. I still would not be worried because it's just the nature of sprinting. It's just the nature of the sport. Even when you look at the hurdlers, this week, last week, Daniel won. There might be a different person who won, who wins this week. So it could be a cat and mouse thing. Different athletes, different camps seek to get what you call it, different uh what can I say? How can I put this? Different objectives from each race that they run. I mean, one could be working on start, one could be working on the uh end of the race, one could be working on being smoother in transition from the dry phase. Yeah. So several things they could be working on, because of course, the 100 meters very technical and there are different phases of the race. So it's kind of critical, but clearly Kishane is top talent and he has the potential and the propensity to really be miles ahead of this field. Is he in that condition right now? I am not certain. But I know from coaching that the time period when he ran that relay, how he looked, there's a lot of work can be done during that period, that down period we call it, into him having his next competitive race. You get what I'm saying? So several things can happen. And I certainly believe that Kishane is gonna go out there and put on a show. If we can recall a clipping that I placed on social media where it was talking about Kishane, even his friend, Sonic. When Sonic run out, and Kishane and Kishane realize him friend a get away from him. He say he does press gas because of the competitiveness of who he is. So we don't think Kishane are gonna just roll over and just, you see me I say him a go out there go compete and give his all. And that is what we the fans expect. So I think he will, dethrone the world leader. Not necessarily by time, but in terms of taking the victory. And if he doesn't, I still will not be uncomfortable with the state. It depending on the time that he runs and where he falls, how he looks in terms of the different phase of his race. I mean, we as fans, we are competitive, especially if nation bragging rights. We like that, and certainly we always want to see our country on top. But from a perspective of knowing the game, I I I I expect the unexpected at any time. Seeing? So let us see what will happen. You can drop your comment in the comment section, and even let's see Letiboho. I'm not too worried about him either. Is it me? And if me no worry about Kishane or Let's See, you think me I go worry about the other athletes, especially the one them from up north? Me not worry. They are them spread them bed. Them off for what? Line it. You get what I say? But it is what it is, people. It is what it is. Big up on yourself. Thanks for joining us again. Until next time. Stay safe. Boom.